Good afternoon, everyone. I am here to answer questions in regards to taxes, filing that return that's due next month, and also to respond to a question about leasing and how to show that on the tax return for deductions. Now, I will be coming back later this evening to do another live session. But in the meantime, I'm going to do about 20 minutes or so. And then I'm going to make some comments and also answer some questions about a lease. So Toya, she asked me, can I answer? Can't remember her name. I just got it in my mind too. I just read my latest post that someone asked me about 30 minutes ago. So hopefully, y'all see this video. But anyways, I want to talk about standard mileage versus actual expenses. Now, as some of us know, if whether you drive Uber, Lyft, Grubhub, Postmates, DoorDash, Instacart, or whomever, and your primary expenses is going to come from your car, your vehicle. Now, you cannot take the standard mileage and the actual expenses at the same time. You have to choose one or the other. Now, most people will say, well, which one should I use? Or it's easier for me to take the standard mileage, which is 54 cents a mile. The IRS has already figured out if you choose to take the mileage, it's 54 cents a mile. And that's actual business miles. But let me tell you what the catch is with that. The catch is that if you choose to take the standard mileage, you must have records of those miles. And in those miles, it's just a simple book like this, something like this. Now, I haven't kept track of my miles last year because I didn't start until late July. And my vehicle that I use, the beginning, was part personal use and business use. So when I started doing Uber on July 25th or so, and then I had picked up those other ride sharing gigs later on, my car was primarily used for business. Doing I didn't do Instacart last year, I did this year. Doing all those other companies, Postmates and DoorDash and all the rest of them. So I didn't really keep track of my mileage. I chose to do my actual expenses. Now, let me make some claims on this. First, say for instance, you are a person who does these ride sharing gigs on the side. You have a regular part-time job. No, a regular job, put it that way. The mileage from your home to your actual job, you cannot deduct any of those mileage, number one. Number two is if you choose to take the standard mileage on your vehicle, you must make sure that you do not account for any personal use of your vehicle. So if you have one car and you use it for both personal and business, it's going to be really hard for you to justify the mileage that you're choosing to deduct, because if that's your only car and you use it for personal use, going to the doctor, going to the grocery store and all those other things, you must make sure that you're more careful about tracking those miles in a log. The requirement is keeping track of your mileage is one, the date, the purpose, the time, and also to and from. So remember, you can't, any miles from your house to your job, you cannot take and deduct. However, say you're at your job and you say, okay, I'm gonna turn on my app and I'm gonna start doing Uber Eats or whatever. So from your job, what you want to do on your call log is you're going to put the date, January 1st, 2015 or whatever. Put the address of where you work, and then you will put purpose, Uber Eats, the date, that day, and the time. That's why it's important that if you want to set yourself on a schedule, set a schedule. Like when I do Grubhub has shifts, but you could download your schedule onto your Google Calendar. So every day I could go back and I could go back and I show all of my dates and months and the dates and the shifts that I did Grubhub. So what I do is I would keep track of my statements with Grubhub, which with Grubhub, they pay you 50 cents a mile, right? But it shows delivery miles. So every day when I get my statement the next day, it will show delivery miles. However, you would say, well, what about all those dead mileage? I know for me that it's going to be at least 40 miles of dead miles per day that I will be driving that is not accounted for in that driver in those delivery miles with Grubhub. And it could say the same thing could say for Uber Eats. Is that you figure, okay, according to whomever you work with, Grubhub and Uber Eats tend to tell you how many miles you've driven when it comes to picking up the food from the restaurants to the customers. And most of them is straight line. So really, it's not really an accurate mileage that they tell you about. So always factor in like this. You double that. If Uber says you have, let's say, 60 miles of delivery miles, double that. Because it's always going to be times 2. And I could only tell you based on my driving pattern that I know that there's always going to be an extra 60 miles, 80 miles that I need to add on each of those days. So you put the date, the time, the purpose. And then from there, if you use Waze or Google, Waze and Google keep track of your planned trips and everything else. Now, yes, you can also use a app, Mile IQ, and Mile IQ will keep track of your mileage as well. And you could use any of those type of apps like that. Mile IQ is just one of them. So let me go ahead and iterate that you could choose the standard mileage, but you cannot use the standard mileage from your home to your job if you're a person who works another job and you do this on the side. Now, say this is your primary job, then you will want to make sure you just keep a simple book. You don't have to be elaborate with these apps. I mean, you could buy it because it's easier to keep track of, but to be honest with you, you really want to keep something like a diary or something on a calendar of your dates that you worked. And you can just use that on a Google Calendar. Download your dates of your trips and put them on Google Calendar. And then when you get your statements from Grubhub and Uber Eats, I don't know, I can't remember what Postmates and all the rest of them, if they give you any driving mileage. But whatever statements you get from any of these companies that reflects your trips, keep those, because each of those will have some sort of record of your driving. And pretty much that's what you would do. Now, let's talk about the standard mileage cannot be used for. If you do a lease purchase with Uber or Lyft, and you lease the car, according to the IRS, now I just went and looked it up online at irs.gov, and it states this: standard mileage rates cannot be used if the taxpayer used the car for hire. Such example is a taxi. Now, technically, Uber, Lyft is more of a taxi. They fall in the category of taxi service. You're really for hire. My father was a taxi cab driver in New York for probably 30 something years in New York before he passed. And they leased the cars, so what they did was they would go to their whatever garage, they leased the taxis, they have a medallion. Now, I don't know, it's very expensive. So, back in the day, you obtain a taxi license or whatever, TLC they call it. It's very pricey, but my father was, back in the day, those things are like worth millions. So he leased the cars. You get the car, you get paid on fares, you pay a lease to the taxi cab company to use their cars. Now, Uber, they give you the option to lease the vehicle every week, $160 something, whatever it was. I don't know. I don't lease it. And I don't talk about leasing because I don't think it's a benefit, to be honest with you. So if that lease purchase on that car, when you got the car, you signed up, I don't know if it says in that contract that that car can be used for both personal and for just exclusively use the car to drive Uber and Lyft. But I'm quite, I guess that's why they decided to take the money from your weekly pay when you get paid, and you pay them directly from your pay versus you paying them every week on your own, which I don't like, because I think it puts you in this kind of slave kind of, okay, I got this car, I must make $160 something a week to pay for the lease option on that car, which basically is you driving for free, in my opinion, on top of the low fares, on top of the fact that the only thing they're going to pay for is your tire rotation and oil change. What is that? It's free tire rotation if you go to Discount Tires and you bought your tires from Discount Tires for life. They'll rotate them, which I need to do, by the way. Or if you go to any other these or wherever you bought your tires from. If you bought your tires from whomever you bought it from, Walmart, Costco, and you drive and you bought tires, they'll rotate those tires for free. Now, I know Discount Tires would do it for free. And I like Discount Tires. They have the best prices. They'll beat anybody's price. They got every manufactured tire place ever. And if you got the coverage and the tire blows out or you need to replace that tire, they give you a free tire. The tire is replaced for free. I got a Corolla outside. Well, I bought Discount Tires from them. And they got a record of the tire. So now I need to buy me a new tire. They're going to give me one free tire for free. I'll buy 3 other tires for that car, put some kind of coverage on it now. And then every time something's wrong with the tire is replaced at no cost. And I go about my business. And they'll rotate those tires for free for life. As long as I'm the owner of the cars. Now, if you lease that car, you cannot take the standard mileage at all, especially if it's stating that that car is to be used to drive to do Uber or Lyft. But if you use that car for personal use, and you use it to do Uber or Lyft, then the actual mileage is what the option that is best that you take. With the actual mileage, which I would choose to do. Now, when I did my return on, what was it, Credit Karma, it was, let me see if I could share the screen. Let me see. I'm going to see how I could do this. Dang it, I hate this. All right, I thought I could figure this out. Let me see here. Cameraman. Where's this little button right here? Add apps. No recent apps. Oh, Lordy, this is going to be something. I see share screen, but what is it supposed to do to get to the other website? That's what I want to know. Uh-oh. All right, I'm just going to keep talking through it. Let's see. I'm going to figure this out one day. I'm surely going to figure it out. All right. I don't know if y'all can see this. I hope y'all can. I hope y'all can. Because this is something really important. This thing is so funny. I hate it. Oh, Lord. This is dumb. Okay. All right. This is the IRS website right here. I don't know if y'all see it, if y'all can see it. Now, where the hell did I put? I had all the information pulled up. Avoid the rush. Whatever. All right. There's another thing that I'm going to talk about, business use of your home, but that's going to be the topic tonight. Business use of your car. If you use your car for business, you can deduct car expenses. If you use your car for both business and personal purposes, you must divide your expenses based on actual mileage. You can refer to publication 463, Travel, Entertainment, Gift, and Car Expenses for a list of current or prior mileage rates, even mileage rates. So, publication 463. Now, usually they will, I could get this book, but it's online, and all of this information here, down here. Now, I'm going to go to this topic, leasing a car. So, leasing a car. If you lease a car, truck, van to use in your business, you can use the standard mileage rate or actual mileage rate to figure out deductible expenses. This section explains how to figure actual expenses for a leased car, truck, or van. This deductible payments. If you choose to use actual expenses, you can deduct the part of each lease payment that is used for the vehicle in your business. You cannot deduct any part of a lease payment that is personal use of the vehicle, such as commuting. You must spread any advance payments over the entire lease payment. You can't deduct any payment you make to buy a car, truck, or van, even if the payments are called lease payments. All right, y'all. Okay, so I just read that part about leasing. Now, that's why I wouldn't do a lease purchase with Uber or Lyft. I mean, I understand people say, well, you don't want to put so many miles on your car, and you could save save money by not putting so much on your car and whatever. But if you was a person working a regular job, 9 to 5, and you drove your car to and from work, and you get paid, you can't, and your car's going to depreciate anyway. You're going to put miles on the car anyway. The car already lost its value anyway. So you can't take any tax advantage by deducting your car depreciation if you was driving your car to go into your regular job. So why would someone think that, well, I'm just going to do a lease and do Uber and make some extra money? Now you still paying for your car, and you're going to pay for another car that you could lease. And then when you say, well, man, I'm ready to turn it in now, let me go ahead and turn it in. So I don't know how really to give an answer to your question, whether or not you, what you could do. Now, like I said, it all depends on how you plan on using that car in terms of the lease. But it's very tricky, because for someone who doesn't have a car, and if you don't have a car at all, then I would say, and you do the lease option on a Uber car or whatever. What can you deduct? Like I said, the actual expense or the standard mileage rate. But like I said, it's all the terms and conditions of that contract. And I'm gonna tell you, the way how Uber is, they're sneaky. They'll tell people one thing, and then and they have no bearings on the companies that do these offers on these lease cars. So if the contract calls for that car cannot be used for personal use, and you can only use that car while you do Uber or Lyft, and it's basically that vehicle is for hire to do the job that you hired to do, which is to drive Uber or do Lyft, then you cannot take the standard mileage rate. You can take the actual expenses and you can deduct the fees. But the thing is, you got to have that car must be used according to what the publication 463 says. It says here, if you lease a car or truck or van that is used in your business for a lease term of 30 days or more, you may have to include an inclusion amount of your income for each year you lease the vehicle. To do this, don't add any amount of income. Instead, reduce your deduction from your lease payment. This reduction has an effect similar to the limit on the depreciation deduction you would have on the vehicle if you had owned it. Okay, I don't know if y'all heard me say that. Here's my thing. I don't know if y'all heard me, what I just read, what I just said. And I read it too. So basically, it's a limit. It's always going to be a limit in terms of the amount that you be able to deduct. And it is not advantageous to lease a car ever. I've knew about that for years, how leasing was not advantageous for those who, especially what I don't like about it is that is being deducted from your income. You know, that's what I don't like about it. That's one thing I don't like about it. You're paying taxes on the money that you made, but then when Uber reports it on that Schedule K1, and if it's on that Schedule K1 and it shows the fees, then you could deduct the lower. You could pay a lower tax rate depending on what's on your Schedule K1. But they put it on the Schedule K1 to reflect the income. But then you so you pay. It's like it's ridiculous. I get paid I'll give this example. You get paid $200 a week, and let's say the lease is $50, which is never going to be like that. It's $200 you get every week in your pay. However, Uber needs to take $50 to pay for that lease car that you got from them. You pay tax on $200, but they're going to take away $50 from the $200 to pay for the lease. So you lose. So it's kind of like this. You can't deduct standard mileage and deduct the actual mileage at the same time. You must choose which one you're going to do. And unfortunately, in this case, if you lease the car from Uber or Lyft, then take the actual expenses. Don't even choose standard mileage. But you're going to put a lot of miles on that car, but you can't do both. So whichever one gives you greater amount of deductions, that's the one you would take. That's the one you would take. Because let me tell you, by the time you put gas, the gasoline taxes, the insurance, vehicle registration fees, the depreciation, your lease payment, what else comes with all those are actual expenses as it relates to this type of job. Now, the other part of my video I'm going to make later on in the evening, because I'm going to show my Schedule C once I figure out how to share the screen and also sanitize some personal information, which I was not going to show on the screen. So the question is, do you take the lease or do you take the how do you deduct it? Whatever the fees, if those fees, I need someone to comment in their box. Look at your statement from Uber and tell me, does it show that lease payments on your Schedule K1? I need to know that. If it's on there, I could better answer the question. Because that's going to really determine how that Schedule K1, everything's going to go back to that Schedule K1 when it comes to that Uber. I can tell you that, because I need to know if they took those fees out on the Schedule K1. If the fees are shown on the Schedule K1 and those who lease with Uber, let me know in the comment section, because it has to be reported differently. And Uber doesn't even file corporate income tax. So it's kind of like, it's too much. I mean, I never liked the fact that they did this. Oh, let's lease a car. You could drive for Uber. Let's lease a car. Oh, go ahead and go down there to the nearest whomever and lease a car. It's all a catch. Catch 22. Lease the car, drive Uber, drive around all day long, all night long. You getting paid all this amount of money for the cuts in the rates, and some of y'all spending more money than I make in my own personal car note, and I pay extra every month on my car note to pay my car off quicker. And the thing is that I could, my car is now used for business. It's depreciated. I could write that off. Don't even pay. I'm not even paying any. I don't even pay any taxes on the money I made. And I assure you, this year, God be glory that I get that job or get another real position soon. That I don't care about using my personal vehicle for business because it's going to depreciate anyway, and I could turn around and incorporate and establish myself as an LLC. In this, I'm gonna file as an LLC, and when I'm ready to buy another car, which I'm not gonna buy at an old dealership, I'm gonna trade in that Kia, got high mileage, trade that car straight in, get me a 2 or 3 year old car that has very low miles, get a very nice vehicle that's gonna hold well. And the purchase of that car I purchased, whether it be this year or next year, I'm not sure yet. Put that under my business name, not my social security number, but actually file it under my company, LLC company, whatever name I'm going to choose, TPS Financial Solutions or whatever the company name I'm going to do it. And that whole entire car is going to be written off. And say, oh, the car cost me $10,000, the whole $10,000, boom. I'm not going to lease no car from Uber. That don't make any dang sense. And I know some people think that they are in a trap and thinking, no, I can't get no car. I ain't got no credit. I got poor credit. I can't get no car. I ain't got no money. I never put money down on a car. The only time I ever put money down on a car was 15 something, how long ago was that? 15 years ago. And to be honest with you, the car was $6,000 or $7,000 or whatever. I put $1,000 down, got it into an accident. Someone hit me. The insurance company paid off the car. The car dealership gave me back my $1,000. So I drove the car for free. Got lost appreciation of the value of the car and got my money back. Who does that? A smart person who knows how to negotiate. Now, I didn't, that's what you do. That's what you do. Don't just run out there and do a lease, on a Uber or Lyft or whatever, on those stupid terms, 160 something every week. And then you turn around. Come on, people. Use your mind. Use your mind. Any company that comes up there telling you, oh, you go ahead and this lease car, we'll give you a car. Uber never gave no damn body no free car ever. Never. Never. Now, I'm going to end this because I'm going to be going to the gym. So, parking fees. Now, it just so happens that this little statement about parking fees is on my screen. I sure wish I knew. Parking fees. Fees you pay to park your car at your place of business are non-deductible community expenses. However, you can deduct business-related parking fees when visiting a client or a customer. So, I don't think any of us ever pay parking fees. So, I don't think that should apply. That shouldn't apply too much to too many people. But let's say you did. You pay a parking fee and you was picking up somebody visiting a customer or a client or whatever, you had to pay parking fees, then it's deductible. But if you had to go ahead and park your car for business, it's non-deductible. So it's, like I said, it is a real slippery slope about that lease. It's a slippery slope. And if you continue to do it, say, last year and you're doing it this year, you must be continuous, meaning you take the actual mileage, you must continue to do the actual mileage. You cannot go back and flip-flop. So that is my assessment on that. Oops. All right, y'all. Let me go to the gym. Now, hopefully I answered some people's questions or someone's question. And I'm going to check my comment section. I don't know why my comment section won't let me to reply back to comments when I try to reply. So look out for the next part of the video. And sometime tonight or this evening, once I get back home from my class from learning to do websites, I'm going to do another live video. And hopefully I'm going to see how I could show you the screens, because I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to figure it out, y'all. But anyway, I hope y'all have a good day. And let me go ahead and go to the gym. And I hope this was valuable information and it helped you. All right. Talk to y'all later. Bye.